So should I start?
Yes, Ayushi, please go ahead.
Okay, so good evening, everybody, and good morning to whosoever have morning over there, and afternoon as well. So I would like to have our special guests Darren, Mika, and Phila, and thank you for sparing your crucial time for mentoring and guiding us. So this event will basically help you guide through some basic questions and hyped up questions about computer science. And let's just quickly get with the introduction of ourselves. So firstly, I'll go up first. So my name is Ayushi Singh, and I'm currently in second year and Beta MLSA as well. And I would like to head over the mic to Komal Man. So please.
Hello, everyone. I am Komal, currently a final year computer science engineering student at Chandigarh University from India. So I am an IBM Z ambassador, learning about IBM Z systems and advocating about the same. Thanks, Darren. Thanks for the clap. And advocating about the same since last year, July of 2020. So I am also a frequent speaker, having led a few of the sessions at IBM Z's annual tech conference, IBM Z Day. I am the founder and the president of the zStudent-CU community, the world's first ever student community powered by IBM Z and established in my university. We at zStudent-CU, collaborate with a mission to make quality content accessible to students and accelerate the development of both technical and interpersonal skills in students around the globe. And here we are back with another event, Upskill with IBM Z, where we are looking forward to interact with a star-studded panel, Darren, Phila, and Mikateko, to explore more about how you as students can proactively, upskill yourself and level up your coding skills, your technical journey, and basically excel as a computer science student. So, yep, that's pretty much about me, our community, and pretty excited to be here. Ayushi, over to you.
Okay, so I would like Darren to give his introduction.
Well, thank you very much. What an honor to be on this call with all of you. My name's Darren Surch. I'm an Aussie, but I've been working and living in America for 25 years. So based here in Charleston in South Carolina. I have a company that does corporate mainframe training. So we're the biggest trainer of mainframers in the world. All the big companies that run mainframe systems use our training, but we love to also help with the next generation of mainframers and the whole industry. So I'm a lifetime IBM champion, named by IBM just for helping out around the industry and advocacy and things like that. As mentioned, fantastic to be on this call today. It's a real honor. Thank you.
That's great, Darren. So I would like Mika to introduce herself.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm also here to just share this honor. I mean, it's been a while since I've been a panelist, and this makes me very, very happy to be here. I'm extremely honored. As Ayushi said, my name is Mika, but my full name is Mikateko Ngobeni. I am a fourth year student studying software engineering based in South Africa. I'm also a junior software engineer at Tradeware and a ex-Z ambassador student as well. I was the student Z ambassador of the year for MEA last year in 2020. So I'm very familiar with how everything goes. It's very exciting to even be here to begin with. And I think that's it about me.
That's pretty cool. So I would like Phila to introduce herself as well.
Hey, sorry about the delay from my side. We have load shedding. Mikateko will tell you about it right now. So I had to use my phone and try to log in and all that. But my name is Phila Phungula. I'm a Z developer advocate, which means I do technical training throughout universities, training conferences, and so forth. And I'll be telling you more about my journey as a developer advocate. But also I'm a student Scrum Master, which means we have different programs that we'll be talking about today. And my role as a Scrum Master is to ensure that the team is reaching its targets and making sure that we have our goals and we make sure that those goals are met and the stakeholders are actually happy about them.
Thank you, Phila, for introduction. So that's it with our introduction of our guests. And we'll move ahead with question hour. And for all of you, we'll have a question hour session after this, after all the questions that we have, and you can ask whatever you want to ask. So over to you, Komal.
So I would like to, ask a general question to all of our panelists, like from Darren and Phila, like basically the students that we have joined us today, they are from first year or second year and very new to computer science and starting to figure out their path. So starting with a panel Q&A, like what would you recommend to such students who are like maybe some are maybe confused on what to do next, on what to do for the next year 4 years of the computer science journey, and some may be needing some guidance to start with their degree. So what would be your advice to such students beginning with computer science? And my question is for Darren and Phila, but Mika, feel free to add your input in case you have if in case you feel to do so.
Ladies first, Phila.
Oh, okay, cool. So from my side, I'll first tell you about my journey as a computer science student. When I went to university, it wasn't actually my path to do computer science. I went there to do become accounting. And along the way, I was forced to do a computer science. And I think I told this Kamal when we had our IBM Z events that it was so frustrating not knowing anything about computers. And it was my first time experiencing or working on a computer because of, unfortunately, my background. So it was very hard for me in my first year. I actually failed a module in first year. And with that, what I can say, if you're wanting to actually enter into a computer science degree or wanting to go into that route, I will say it's a lot of hard work and making sure that you use the resources that you have around you. For me, I had to sit in the labs trying to figure out codes for hours, and it was hard. And I would fail sometimes, but I would get so excited when it works. But I also had resources like my lecturers that will be able to assist me, but including my peers that were able to assist me. But there's also resources that we have. You guys are so fortunate. Unlike us, when we were in varsity, we did have internet, but it wasn't as good as now, where you can just Google anything on YouTube and someone will teach you something that you might find hard. So as a technical specialist, because I understand that not everyone understands, the deep dive of technology, I always try by all means to go into the introductory level of any topic, because I understand that you might want to understand a topic, but if someone talks high level, I've been in that same place where I was a SAP consultant and then I joined IBM and everyone was talking all these jargons about mainframes. And I was just scared. I was like, okay, this is very hard. Am I going to make it? And I don't even know what is going on, but I was very excited about with the offerings of IBM Z. So I wanted to learn, and I was fortunate enough to have a mentor that explained it in terms that I could understand. So you guys are very fortunate to have all these courses that we will talk about later on that are online, that we have as offerings for you to get the basic understanding of these technologies. And if you have a part that you want to capture on or focus on, you can then branch out to these things and all these resources that we have. Over to you.
So that was great.
So if you're interested in a career in computer science, I say very, very smart. The world has changed. We all know how much computer science is the center of everything now. So if I had to give you some advice, know that you guys are in demand. Anyone with computer skills, computer science skills. Now, the corporations around the world no longer have to have employees from 5 miles around their corporate office, and that's all they can get. These days, the big corporations, companies all around the world can have people working for them wherever they are in the world. You can work remotely from wherever you are in the world, and this is becoming the norm. So the new power, the new value that you have, the solid gold value that you have to companies all around the world, is your knowledge. So learn your skills. And the reason I love IBM Z, the mainframe is the center of it all. I mean, 92% of the world's financial transactions and about 90% of the world's business data sits on mainframes. It's the center of all of the big corporations and the governments of the world. So I just love working on IBM Z because it lets you really make a difference. But whatever area of computer science you end up in, learn your skills, learn your core skills for what you want to do, and then branch out, start learning other things. Because if you're starting your career now, I guarantee you by halfway through your career and by the end of your career, there's new technologies that you'll be using that haven't even been invented yet, haven't even been thought of yet. So keep your learning and so forth, and keep your skills up, and corporations all around the world will be hunting you down. They'll be throwing job offers at you and saying, please work for us because you've got such mad skills. So I just quickly, I know I'm rambling on a bit here. Apart from the job side of things, it's important for me, and that's why I was grinning in the chat about Alex Kumar's quote from Elon Musk there. Elon Musk said, when I was in college, I wanted to be involved in things that would change the world, and now I am. And that's always been really important to me too. I want to make a difference. You know, the work I do every day, every year, I want it to mean something and make a difference in people's lives and help people out and so forth. So for me, that's what gets me up every morning and gets me passionate. So try and fold that, make that part of your career as well. What Kamal's doing, what Mika's doing, and so forth. You know, make a difference, do something extra, network, and do some good in the world as well. And computer science helps you do that. There's all sorts of things you can do. Enough said.
Mika, so would you like to add something?
Oh no, I think listening to Darren and Phila as experts, being a student myself, it was just nice to hear all of that, you know, advice and expertise from them. So I think from this question, I think I'm more of the listener than I am the speaker.
Darren and Phila is more inspiring. It's quite inspiring to hear them out. Okay, so I would like to ask a question with you, Mika. So what opportunities and programs do you think that help you grow as a student?
Cool. So back in my third year, so that was last year, we had a alumni from my school that was working for IBM at the time. I think he was an intern at the time, that had asked us, listen, there's a new program going on called Z Ambassadorship or Z Students. And I think we were the first year to have started it. And he asked if I was, you know, willing to participate in it. I think considering the fact that I see myself as a curious soul, I just wanted to understand what it meant. And so I think that was the one opportunity / program that I had joined, which is, you know, Z Ambassadorship, Z Students. I had learned a ton with regards to mainframe computing, having to speak with literally people all over the world, having to plan out things such as these, where we get like panelists who are experts in, you know, such subjects like mainframe computing or even AI, which is what we were doing at the time. So that helped in terms of growing my knowledge as a student outside of university. I think another internal program that I had also worked on while I was at school was a third-year project. So in that aspect, we as third years had to come up with an idea of some sort that we would be able to continue with throughout the entirety of the year, something unique, something crazy. And so I had decided to join a group that I had absolutely no knowledge of. It was game AI authoring, as a matter of fact. It was a library component that we had to build from scratch. I had no idea how to build it, but because of my curious nature, I took it upon myself to try and see if I'd be able to help in any way to try and build this project. Did I struggle? Absolutely. But did I learn? Absolutely. So yeah, those are the two programs and opportunities that I had experienced from my last year.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
So from Mika, I can see like it was for her the opportunity to, the chance to explore new opportunities for which even she thought like she doesn't have the knowledge for her, like she doesn't have the current knowledge to get into that, but she anyways tried that and that worked out for her. So I would like to ask, based on this, I would like to ask the next question from Darren and Phila, like what are the advantages of such proactive learning? Like do students gain advantages based on like focused on internships or job opportunities? And we can start with Phila or Darren. Anybody who would like to go ahead?
Oh,
Well,
ladies first again.
ladies
Okay,
first,
cool.
always.
So you putting me under the bus again. So for me, right, when I registered, graduated from varsity, I was very fortunate that I got offered a job just before I wrote my exams, my IT or computer science exams. That was very fortunate, especially in Africa. I know most of you are not from Africa, but you probably would have heard of, unemployment rates. So I took the first job that I got, regardless of if it's something that I loved or not, because I didn't want to sit at home for a whole year. And it wasn't a bad job. I was a SAP consultant. It's just that it wasn't something that I loved. And I loved coding. As I mentioned before, I would sit there for hours. And so that what gave me an adrenaline rush and made me want to work even harder, because I saw the results of creating something and I see what I've created and all of that. So that's where I get my passion from. And when I was a SAP consultant, I was doing really well, became a senior after 2 years and so forth. But it wasn't something that I was passionate about. And for me, that is the most important thing. We all have our goals. And what I can say about, the advantage of actually learning before, you get the job, is I wasn't fortunate enough. In fact, I remember when I got an interview for that job, I started researching. I didn't know what was SAP at that time. And so by you in your university level, understanding the industry technology, it helps you understand what are you going to be doing in that industry and in those environment that you'll be exposed to. So you know exactly what to expect and what kind of job that you want. And it helps you. I'm not saying for me it's a setback that 2.5 years that I spent as a SAP consultant. It wasn't. It was actually a great environment for me to learn and understand the work environment. But if you get exposed, because unfortunately university can teach you so much about the curriculum in terms of computer science, but they cannot cover industry technology because there's just so many IT companies out there and so many technologies out there. So it's up to you as an individual to decide, okay, I need to understand the industry technology because I want to understand the environment, but also that will help you with getting an internship. Looking at Mikateko, for example, because she was a Z ambassador last year, and with her, she was still having to do the final year, and now looking for a job. She got into this environment of a Z ambassador, got exposed to so many people. As she mentioned, she was one of the finalists and so forth, but it exposed us to so much. And it actually gave her a brand. So online, in fact, when I saw Mikateko on LinkedIn, anywhere you see her, you'll see so many people reacting to her work because they've seen that she's still studying. And it's not easy. I promise you, we've all been there. Varsity is not the easiest, especially if you're doing computer science, even if you're doing anything else, but varsity is not easy because you have to balance all these things. She was juggling being a Z ambassador and studying, and it helped her being exposed to networks and actually landing a job because of what she was doing. So she understood the skills that she gained from the Z ambassador program, the presentation. Now, in fact, even before, she was a great speaker, but she's doing even better. Kamal, I'm sorry, Ayusha, it's my first time interacting with you, but I know with Kamal, with her, she's been part of the Expert TV and all these things, the Z Ambassador, well, the IBM Z conference, which is huge, and for the second time this year, because of the fact that she's gotten herself in an environment where she wants to actually educate herself about the industry technology, and also, regardless of her fears, we all have our fears, she made sure that she excels in all of that. So it helps you getting jobs, getting internships, but also understanding your future goals.
Wow. You're a great speaker, Phila. Well done.
Thank you so much, Phila, for putting out that juggling between different things, exploring new opportunities is definitely hard being a full-time student, and I can definitely understand that. But it's worth it. It brings a lot of other opportunities that make you keep progressing and explore new things. So with that, we would love to hear your thoughts, Darren, on the question that we asked.
Yeah, I mean, the question is the professional advantages of proactive learning. And I suppose to sum it up, proactive learning is everything these days. If you want to Google lifelong learning, the term lifelong learning, this is what the world is based on now. Everybody understands that you're learning a lot at university to get your degree, but everybody is expected to keep learning for the rest of their lives. 15, 20 years ago, you might want to Google the term a half-life of a skill. It comes from the radioactivity measurement, if anyone knows about that. But 15, 20 years ago, you used to be able to learn a skill like learn to program COBOL, and it was good for 20 years. You could continue to program COBOL and you didn't have to learn anything else. These days, the half-life of a skill, the amount of time that you get productivity or value out of a skill is maybe a year. So you really do need to keep learning and learning and learning. Most corporations, IBM has what they call the Think 40 program. And IBM mandates that all of their personnel worldwide do at least 40 hours of professional development and proactive learning every year, which is an hour a week. It's nothing compared to you guys at university. You're learning all the time. But proactive learning is something you need to do to keep your skills up and keep your skills broad. But it's also something that corporations, from this side of things, corporations look for that. And things like what Kamal and Mika do with the Z ambassadorships and speaking at virtual conferences and things like that. Everybody here should have a LinkedIn profile. Back in my day, people used to have to do a resume to get a job. You'd print your skills out on a piece of paper and your experience, and you'd send it to a company and say, please consider me for a job. And then hopefully get a job. These days, your resume is on LinkedIn and it's there 365 days of the year, 24 hours a day. And corporations around the world are looking. They're looking for the best and the brightest people, and they will try and find you and offer you work. And they're not only looking for your skills and your experience, they're also looking for a pattern of, a pattern of proactive learning. A pattern of people who are intellectually curious, who are always willing to learn more and pick up extra skills and being involved in the community and networking with other people and so forth. And the more you network on LinkedIn and get involved in some of these amazing programs that IBM does, the IBM community, definitely go and sign up for the IBM community. The more you network in this stuff, the more people come to you with offers or say, hey, you might like to do this course, or here's a new program that we're offering, or here's some free something here, some training or whatever. So I'm rambling a little bit, but this proactive learning, this lifelong learning is definitely, it's going to be central to the rest of your career because that's what people look for, not only to find work, but when you're involved in your career at a company, the senior executives that are looking for people to promote to senior roles and things like that, they're going to look for people that are intellectually curious, people that are training, people that have the skills, people that show that they're involved in the community around them and so forth. So it's just a really good life habit to pick up, incredibly important.
That's
I hope
really
that,
important. Yeah, you were audible.
if that was okay.
That was a quite knowledge. We are in an era where everything is on internet. That's so well said that LinkedIn is so important these days, and we don't need a resume anymore. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
thank you,
important.
Darren. So I would like to ask Mika one more question. That what do you think that the mindset kept you on going in your college life? And what do you want? One piece of advice that you want to give the other student that feels stuck in this, whenever they feel stuck?
Yeah, no problem, no problem. If anything, the one experience that I have, well, not really the one experience, but the one mindset that I had with regards to my growth as a student was, if I were to take it back to, because right now I'm in my 4th year, and as 4th years, we have to do our internships. And so we're not necessarily in class. Please mind the thunder, it is starting to rain a bit here. But my 4th year, we're doing my internship, and so we don't have to be in class and in lectures physically. Right. So when I was in class and in lectures physically, I had noticed that I was, especially my 1st year, that I was one of 3 women in the class, and there were about 25 students altogether. So I think 22 males, 3 women, and there was this already preconceived notion as a woman in tech that we don't know initially. And so I think that was the one thing that drove me, that I don't want to be perceived as a woman that doesn't know exactly what's going on in tech, but more so somebody that's willing to take that extra step to learn a whole lot more and surprise those who actually think that I don't know. I think that also kind of drove me to then take upon the Z ambassadorship / Z student and take up projects that like I wasn't necessarily entirely sure of. Just so I could, be above that whole notion of not necessarily knowing what's going on simply because I'm a woman in tech. And for the students, advice that I would give for those that are stuck, don't be scared to ask. I think there's this whole thing that when you get into the whole tech industry, that you're expected to just know what your field is, and that if you don't know, you look quote unquote dumb or ill-knowledged. That's not the case. It's okay to ask people what to do when you're stuck. It's okay to admit that you're stuck, because with the people that you ask, you might even get a whole new path altogether to solve your problem and give you a whole new solution that you probably didn't even think of. Don't be afraid to ask. It's okay to be stuck. Just don't be scared to ask. I think that's the answer to the question.
That's right. So we mostly feel stuck and we don't ask questions. That's the big issue between students. Like, we don't try to find out the different answers. And somewhere when we ask ask other people questions, we get to know different perspective as well. So
Exactly.
well said.
And it was so inspiring to know, about your journey, Mika, that you chose to, upskill yourself despite of being very new to computer science and maybe struggling initially. So you chose to, maybe it was hard for you, you chose to keep on learning and keep on progressing. That was so inspiring. So with that, I would love to ask another question from Mika and Phila regarding, what are the opportunities for students in IBM, since Mika has been a part of the Z Ambassador program and Phila works at IBM Z. So we would love to know about the opportunities that students from our university or maybe other universities as well can explore within IBM, the student-centric opportunities, that anything you would like to share about?
I think I'll go first, Phila, if that's all right. I
Okay.
think the one thing, awesome. I think the one thing that students can definitely look forward to with regards to the opportunities that IBM has. My apologies. It is raining cats and dogs. But yes, the one opportunity that I think I can highlight for students in IBM is definitely IBM Z Explorer. It's a beautiful platform where students all over the world are able to communicate with a mainframe, a little piece of mainframe that IBM has given you. You're able to learn concepts, fundamentals, some concepts that you learn. It's like almost like a journey of just learning how to communicate with it. And there are also multiple challenges and opportunities that you can make use of as well. Another place is the Student Hub as well. It's a portal for the IBM where students can come and ask as many questions as they'd like to with regards to student opportunities, with regards to mainframe computing. It's very open and very quick. So if you were to ask a question, somebody would definitely respond quickly. But to avoid more thunder and lightning, Phila, I think I'll hand over the mic to you just to add more on the opportunities.
Yeah,
my apologies again.
No worries. In fact, we're both experiencing the same thing since we're in the same country and city. As Mikateko has mentioned, the Student Hub, for me, as a Scrum Master for the students' experience, I will recommend the Student Hub, and reason being is we have videos there where you can actually download these videos or listen to these videos at your own time. And also there's events that we put up there regardless of where you are. So it's not only technical, it helps you with your social media presence. So you being seen by the next recruiter if you're looking for a job. And we have also including entrepreneur skills. We have a place where you can blog. So if you want to build that brand, if you Google any of the Z ambassadors here, you'll find that they blog somewhere and you can read a story about them, including myself, where I talk about myself and my journey as a person in IT. So you can blog about yourself, about your journey, and potential people that want to employ you will get you from there. But please remember, when you join the Student Hub, just make sure that you are willing to be actually contacted by partners. We've had inquiries from India and other countries that I won't mention, where partners have reached out and they said they're looking for skills in India. And if you have actually opt in to say that you want to be contacted by a partner, you can get an opportunity for, well, a job opportunity from any of these partners. So we have the Student Hub. We obviously have the Z Ambassador program that we also manage as a Student Hub student squad. And as the Z Ambassador program, all the ladies that you see here, and in fact, even more, we have 141 this year that are part of the program where they get skills, they get training, certificates. Just remember as a student that everyone that leaves your year get a degree or diploma, whatever you were studying. And so when you're looking for a job, you need to be differentiated from the rest of the team. And if you have that Z Ambassador badge, it shows that you have leadership skills because you can present, because that's what is required of you, and other skills. In fact, they make sure that they give you all these trainings to empower you to be able to work better in the work environment, and also to skill you up as the Z Ambassador. And then we have the Hour of Z. We have launched it on iPhone for now. Just bear with us. It has taken some time. So on iPhone, it's not, well, it's on iPhone, but not on Android yet. And this is an app that we are saying that if you have no experience on IBM Z, and just to make sure that everyone is clear about IBM Z, and we've had this question before where we ask people, do you know what an IBM Z is? And they will say no. But if you've used an ATM, if you've used a credit card, you've booked a hotel, you've done all these things, and IBM Z actually processes all these transactions. So it's working in the background, in the banking industries, in insurance, airlines, you name it. And just so to highlight one thing, in India, it's one tier. We have a lot of clients that have an IBM Z. So when it comes to skills in the whole world, there's a huge scarce skills in IBM Z. And if you're in India and you get these skills, you are in a better position to get a job.
Can I don't even know whether I'm on mute or not. No, I'm not. Amazing again, Phila. I was on a conference call yesterday with one of the biggest mainframe companies in the world, and was with one of their groups in India, and they were crying. They were lamenting the fact that they really need young college graduates to bring into the mainframe space because there's so much demand. And I told them that I was doing this call this morning, and they were so excited that this sort of thing's going on. The mainframe organizations around the world, I mean, if you do the math, the mainframes came out in the 1960s, yeah? And through the 1970s, all the big companies around the world started using mainframes and employing people. Think about how old all those people are. They're all starting to retire now. So there's this big gap, and the mainframe industry, all of these companies that rely on the mainframe need new people. So they're so hungry, and IBM is putting on so much highest quality. Training's my business, believe me. The highest quality stuff, IBM Z Explore and the Student Hub. There's so much amazing training, Z Ambassadorship and so forth. But exactly as Phila said, you're not just training, you're interacting with all these other people all around the world that are doing the same Z training, and all the mainframe organizations around the world are watching, and they're going, these people really know their stuff. They've picked up mainframe skills. They're interested in a career here. You know, they'll come and find you and say, come and work for us, and they'll be fighting over you. So as far as a career goes, IBM's really setting you up with just an amazing amount of free training. Sign up for IBM Expert TV and hear lots of people chatter and talk and tell you their thoughts on things. There's a lot of free training that you can do just, you know, in an evening and occasionally connect and be on calls like this and so forth. Doesn't take that much of your time. It's not going to burden you too much on top of your student load, but it really is great skills and great networking, and it makes you noticed by these big companies that are looking for people desperately. So an amazing career move. One more thing too, I'm rambling, but IBM has really embraced digital credentialing. So IBM badges, IBM digital badges, Phila mentioned that for the Z ambassadorship and so forth. Earn these IBM credentials, because again, that's what these corporations are looking for. They're going to start to look and say, okay, who's earned credentials, who's earned these IBM badges for doing courses on, you know, COBOL or CICS or IBM Z or IBM mainframe security or whatever. These badges are sitting there on LinkedIn, and these companies are going to go, oh, there's somebody that we need. They've already learned, they've got these skills. This is not just a piece of paper that says, hey, I did a course once on this. This is an IBM backed credential saying that you know what you know. And these things, once you've earned them, you've got them forever, and they show off what you know to the world. They're just gold. And again, you don't have to pay for a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of free training and free activities, speaking at conferences and being involved in things that you can earn these badges and show the world that you're in the Z space. And I'll leave it at that, but that's critical. I mean, try and earn some IBM Z, try and earn some mainframe badges, IBM badges. They'll be hugely valuable to you.
Yeah, and sorry that we're going back and forth, but just to add, I think Darren helped me remember some stuff. Being part of the Student Hub, we've actually gotten requests from India partners that are looking for skills, right? And they're looking for skills in IBM Z. And unfortunately, we've had the problem where the people from India that register on the Student Hub or any platform that we have did not opt in for being contacted by partners. And obviously you all understand when it comes to GDPR, we can't let your information go out unless you say you want to be contacted. So that means you lost a position or a job opportunity that you could have gotten. But also, because I work with a lot of university students, I understand that you might think that you have a skill in data science or you want to focus on data science and so forth. That's amazing. As Darren has mentioned, the people that have the skills in IBM Z are leaving. And so with your data science skills, remember data science, blockchain, you name it, actually runs on an IBM Z. Yes, all of them run on an IBM Z. So with your skills, you will do wonders because you're coming in with these skills from analytics, data science, blockchain, AI, you know, all these other things, and you will bring valuable information that will help make it even better. Already, it's been around for years and years, 100 years apparently or more, I don't remember the year, but it's 65. Always incorporating more technology. And so even with data science, blockchain, it's incorporating all these technologies. So I'll stop there.
Well said.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing about these opportunities. And you heard from Phila, Darren, and Mika about the opportunities in IBM, the Z Ambassador Program, the R of C game, IBM Z Explore platform, which I personally found to be very interesting and addicting, to be solving challenges and getting to know about mainframe and IP enterprise computing in general. What I would do is I'm going to share my screen so that it's easy for the participants to sign up on the IBM Z Global Student Hub. You heard from our panelists about the student community, that's IBM Z Global Student Hub powered by IBM Z. So you can scan this QR code to sign up on the platform. And there are multiple benefits of being there. You will be joining thousands of students who are already part of the platform, and also network with industry experts like Darren and Phila and many more from IBM. So it's your chance to not only learn new skills, but also build your network and expand your current skills. So also you'll be up to date with the opportunities that IBM Z provides. And as you might have heard, there are tons of opportunities that you can explore. IBM Z Explore R of Z game, which enables you to learn about enterprise computing or IBM Z in just 1 hour. So the all-in-one place to be up to date with these opportunities is the IBM Z Global Student Hub, and you can scan this QR code to sign up on the platform. And there are opportunities for you to share your coding story, learn about the coding stories of others, build your personal brand, and publish your blogs and read others' insightful blogs on the same from students, from industry experts, both of them. And there are also pre-recorded events that you can explore, ranging from topics like open source, entrepreneurial spirit, and rocking your mindset as a student, and variety of topics, not only just technical but soft skills as well, that you can learn from industry experts there. So yep, you can scan this QR code, or there's also a link in the chat that you can use to sign up this platform. Apart from the things that I mentioned, to be eligible to get the certificate, participation certificate for this event, you'll need to sign up on IBM Z Global Student Hub, and we'll create a discussion there, post-event discussion board for this event, Upskill with IBM Z, and there will need you to share your learnings from today's event, what you learned and how you're going to leverage those learning. So that's all that we'll need so that you get your certificate, participation certificate for this event. So in order to get that, please sign up here, and I'll share my screen for a minute more so that participants are able to sign up successfully, and then we'll move forward with the next question.
And if I can add one more thing as well, don't wait until you're finished your 4th year. Sorry, I'm getting an echo. Don't wait until you finish your 4th year to start being involved in this stuff. The corporations around the world are so hungry for people with mainframe skills that even if you're 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year, they'll reach out to you and they'll talk to you about internships in your holidays. Some companies are paying people's tuition fees and all sorts of stuff. They're trying to get you to think about working for them before some other company does. If they see that you've got skills and you're interested in a career in this, they'll reach out to you and befriend you and look after you and follow your career path and so forth. Big corporations have personnel that are dedicated to this. They have departments of people that are looking for the next generation of young talent on the really critical computer systems that they run. So be involved, whatever year of university you're in, get your name out there, build your brand. As Phila keeps saying, it's critically important these days. This is the modern way of working, and it'll change your world, really. Don't wait till you finished your 4th year and graduated and then start looking for a job. Start that as part of your student experience and build towards your career.
So on that note, Darren, would you like to share about some beginner-friendly, inter-skill learning courses that students can enroll in?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned before, Interskill does online training, and we're the biggest deliverer of mainframe training to all the corporations. And again, once you get your job, every company that you work for, whichever company you work for, will be providing you with tons and tons and tons of training to keep your skills up and make sure that you have everything you need to do your job. So Interskill provides these corporations, but we also, for the Z Ambassador program, we've donated all of our courses to the 140 odd Z Ambassadors this year. We've got some free ones. You can go to interskill.com. There's a free Zoe course. There's various other ones that are free there. So there's some from Interskill, but and thank you, Kamal, for mentioning that. But I think your best option to start is IBM Z Explore that IBM puts on, and the Student Hub and so forth. Those are amazing ways to really get involved in the mainframe industry, find out about the mainframe, what it does. There's so much collaboration in IBM Z Explore. You're mixing with other students that are doing the same stuff, and IBM's noticing you, and all of the companies around the world that run mainframes are noticing you. So there's a lot of free stuff out there, but IBM Z Explore and the Student Hub are really the best way for you to get started and have those badges on your LinkedIn profile and show the experience of that and start networking with people, and your career will just take off. It's it will. I shouldn't make promises, but it really will. I've seen it so many times. Get involved like Kamal and Mikateko do and so forth, and companies all around the world will be just chasing you down because they want people like you working in their organizations, in their mainframe organizations. They need you. So put your hand up by networking and learning skills and earning IBM badges, and they'll say, yep, I choose you, come and work for us quick.
Thank you, Darren, for your piece of advice. And with that, we'll quickly get to the last question. This is the question to Darren, Phila, and Mika. What one piece of advice that you would like to give our student audience?
And just to
all of them have done a wonderful job, sharing their thoughts and advice on a topic. But to summarize today's discussion, what's the last piece of advice you would like to offer to audience? And Darren, please go ahead. What you were saying.
Sorry, no, I was just going to say I've pretty much already said it. I mean, my advice would be get a LinkedIn profile, go to the IBM Student Hub, join IBM Z Explore, and have fun. You're mixing with other students all around the world and learning cool stuff about really important systems that run the world, and your networking. So get a LinkedIn profile, do Z Explore, and start earning IBM badges. And when I'm old and in my rocking chair, you can message me on LinkedIn and say thank you for your advice, because I'm a senior manager now at this company, and your career will really take off. It's amazing the way this new world works. It's so much cooler. I'm an Aussie from a goat farm in the bush in Australia, and I'm working in America and talking to people all around the world. I mean, how much cooler can you be? This is such a great industry. So thank you.
It is. No, he's so right. And including myself, my background, and I never imagined speaking in conferences, let alone speaking to anyone. So for me, I always thought I was an introvert, was scared of speaking in public. In fact, I thought that was my biggest fear. And when I was forced to speak in public, and I looked online and it said, a lot of people actually fear this, I thought, no, I'm not going into that. At least a lot of people are fearing it more than the death, apparently. So a lot of people fear presentation just like that, apparently. That's what they say. And I actually was one of those people that thought that, because every time I spoke, I'll just go in shock, not be able to speak and not even remember the words that I'm supposed to say. But you know what? Actually being in a place where you face your fears, especially if you know that you're passionate about something. I'm passionate about technology. I love teaching technology. I've always loved teaching, but I didn't know that it would end up me being teaching university students and so forth. And I faced my fear in order for me to reach what I always loved to do. And so they say there's no growth in the comfort zone. And for myself included, and in fact, even yourself, thinking about IBM Z, when I joined IBM, a lot of people said, why are you going into IBM Z? In fact, when they were presenting to me, it felt like it was so hard, so complicated, all this terminology. How am I going to learn this? And me removing myself or making sure that I get into my, remove myself into the fear mode of thinking that I'm not good enough and all these things that I had in my mind, I actually tried to learn all these things and made it simple for me to understand it better. And that's why I try when I'm teaching other people to make sure that it's simpler for them to understand, but also for you. If you think or you've heard that IBM is hard, it's not. In fact, it's the coolest thing ever. But just always remember, if you want to reach your goal, make sure that you remove yourself and not be in your comfort. Because when you're in your comfort, you don't excel. Kamal mentioned when we were in the IBM Z Day that she also feared speaking in public. And right now, she has a chapter in her university. And she never thought that she would speak in public, and let alone have her own chapter in her university. So I would say for me, what Darren had mentioned is quite very important, especially in this day and age, but also make sure that you don't let your fears stop you from achieving what you want to achieve.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to, I was kind of blown away by everything that Phila said. That was really, really great to hear. And I think if anything, for my piece of advice for all the students out there is, I think don't be scared to dip your toe into challenges or fields that you're extremely unsure of. When you put even just a little bit of yourself to learning a little bit about a field, a concept, mainframe or enterprise computing, for example, something that's out of your comfort zone, like Phila said, so basically echoing on what she said, you won't understand the amount of opportunities and experience that you'll gain just by dipping your toe into that little field. You actually won't even know it. You might even enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, then you get the benefits of actually learning something new, which is something that companies want. They want somebody that is willing to learn, even if they're unsure about whatever field they have. They want somebody who's curious, somebody with the driving passion of technology, just to step out there and to understand every other technology that's there outside of your curriculum in university, for example. So I think that's my piece of advice. Dip your toe wherever you can. And if you don't enjoy it, at least you got the benefit of learning. Yeah.
Yes, always saying yes to opportunities because you don't know what they'll lead after that, right? I remember like this year, for example, I was asked to do a video. I don't know, maybe you guys are fine with that, but looking at myself talking was the most scariest and weird thing. And I had to repeat and do that all over again. And guess what? Because I actually challenged myself and did that, I got exposed to more people. I got displayed to so many people. In fact, I won't explain what growth it gave me, but it helped so much, including being part of the newsletters and all these sorts, because even though I was scared, because I've always been scared of saying what I think and my voice, because I thought it wasn't good enough, or maybe I didn't know much, especially in technology, because from my background and so forth. But saying yes to so many opportunities have opened so many doors for me. And I think even if you're scared and you know that you don't know what you're going to be doing afterwards, or what is expected of you, you learn on the job. Just say yes and then work on it.
Darren, you are on mute. Did you say anything?
am. I'm just amazed at all of these pearls of wisdom from all of you. It's
Saying
remarkable.
yes to opportunities is what I always mention to students, because to you it may seem like one opportunity, but if you are active in that program or any opportunity that you have, you will have like more opportunities with that coming your way, because that's what I have experienced with the Z Ambassador program. And so yeah, so as we have reached, towards the end of our session, and we are almost, close to 8 p.m. now, we'll give 5 minutes for the audience Q&A. So if anybody has any questions that they would like to know from a panelist, please drop your questions in the chat, and we'll have a panelist answer them.
Before they have any questions, one of the other best parts about the mainframe industry for me is just I love to travel and see different countries and meet different people, and this lets me do it from here. I can get on a call with people from all around the world and hear the thunder in South Africa and talk to you guys and get an idea of the exciting things you're doing with your lives in the Punjab, and this is fun for me. It really is. It's such an amazing industry for just being all around the world. Here's some questions. No.
Yeah, I saw people having issues with registering on the Student Hub. Someone mentioned that I cannot sign up as I'm below 18. I cannot sign up to the Student Hub, and I'm not sure where, what is the problem that they're getting into. Is it the IBM ID that they're having issues with? So please explain so we can assist you.
And I would like to add to that, even after this session, if you have any questions, you're free to initiate a discussion on the Student Hub, and the community will be there to help you with any issue or error you are facing.
You see those questions there, Kamal? There's 3 of them.
Yep, I see a question from Alex, and it's about, is it necessary to learn CP, which I assume he means competitive programming for CSC students, because I am not good in coding. Alex mentions that. So would you like to go ahead and answer that? Darren?
I mean, yeah, I don't mind. There's so many jobs. Remember that the mainframe is the core of all of the world's the banks and financial organizations, insurance companies, healthcare, et cetera, governments and so forth. You don't have to just be a programmer. You can be involved in a career like me in training. You can do data science. You can work in security where you don't have to code so much. There's so many careers where you don't have to code, but you should understand the systems and you play your role in this whole mainframe ecosystem for the company. So don't let the lack of coding, and you're probably just being modest. I'm sure you're a good coder, but don't let the lack of coding worry you too much. There's so many other roles where you're working with GUI interfaces all day, even data science. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do there that's not exactly coding. And it's, you're working with GUI interfaces and using editors these days, VS Code and so forth. So it's not just pure old green screen COBOL coding like when I started. I'm 127 years old, so I started way back then. But you can do some amazing careers even without coding. Yep. And the next question is to Kamal. Do you see that, Kamal?
Yep. I didn't start the Z Ambassador program in my first year. I started in my 3rd year of my undergraduate degree. So that was last year. And I'll drop the link to the Z Ambassador program where you can sign up to be notified when the applications reopen for next year. They are closed for this year. So I'll drop the link to that quickly. And meanwhile, Ayushi, can you take over the next question and see if we have any relevant questions to our event?
Yeah, sure. So we have a quick question over here that what is the roadmap for cyber security, if anyone would like to add?
We do not have, an event focused on cybersecurity. And if you're interested to know about that, you can initiate a discussion on Student Hub or connect with us on our community social channels so that we can organize an event based on the same and have cybersecurity professionals or experts from IBM guide you on that.
Yeah, what a career, boy. What a career. The whole world's screaming for cybersecurity people, like, please come and work for us. It's becoming so important. So what a great career to move into. And again, as Kamal said, put your hand up and ask, get involved in the communities and on the Student Hub and stuff. Once you ask, you'll find there'll be managers from IBM, from key cybersecurity groups that'll be reaching out to you and saying, here's some free courses. Let me connect you with this person, and all of a sudden you've got that online profile and that brand, and people know you, and you've got friends in high places and who can help you and be your mentor throughout your career and stuff. It's just amazing, the people at IBM that will reach out to you and help you along and give you access to things and guide you in your career. The mentorship, especially online now, is just incredible. So please don't be one of the silent people that no one knows about. Put up your hand, let yourself be known, and you'll be amazed at how many people want to help you out.
We have another question from Praveen. He's asking about any good podcast or any social media channels or anything that students can use to stay updated with new technologies. Yeah. Anybody who would like to answer that?
Excuse me for hogging the answers. But again, this is part of networking. If you're on LinkedIn and you're starting to connect with different people on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is largely, my posts on LinkedIn are, I'm speaking on this event, I'm on this podcast, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So the more people you connect with on LinkedIn, you'll get to hear them on their podcasts, and you'll go, oh, that's a really good podcast. I'm going to follow that one. It's an IBM Z one. There's one called Terminal Talk that I can particularly recommend. That's pure mainframe. Jeff Bisty is one of the guys who was involved in developing IBM Z Explore, and he's on there. And Frank DiGilio is just one of the most amazing people in the mainframe industry, and those two just talk to each other and interview guests and stuff. So Terminal, TERMINAL, Terminal Talk is a really good one. But again, follow people on LinkedIn and you'll see the podcasts that they appear on, and you can follow those. Also, IBM Expert TV is lots and lots of shows and podcasts and things. Just join up and see what's playing that day or that week, and you'll find some good ones that way too.
I was going to mention.
Sorry.
Go ahead, please, Mika.
Thank you so much. And if I may, just to also echo on what Darren said as well, the Student Hub as well. We post lots of places where lots of links where there's not necessarily podcasts per se, but like speakers such as this, where you're able to learn a whole lot more on not just mainframe computing, like I think Phila mentioned before, but also on AI or also on data scientists as well. So you can check out the Student Hub as well. There's loads of speakers or loads of times where people will speak about those kinds of technologies as well. And it's very new, very relevant too.
Amazing. So with that, we won't be taking much time of a panelist since we're already 8 minutes over. So if anybody has any other questions that you may have right now, or you may have in future, you are free to initiate a discussion on Student Hub and ask our industry experts, fellow students, thousands of students present there. The IBM Z global community is always there to help you and support you in your journey. So feel free to be an active member of a community, and see you on the Student Hub. And with that, I would like to ask Ayushi to take over and present word of thanks.
Okay, thank you, Komal. So with this, we would like to wrap this event, and it was a great event, and I would like to thank Darren, Mika, and Phila. That was a great event, and it helped me as well a lot to know a lot about stuff because I'm too new in this tech. field. So thank you so much. And I would like to thank Komal as well, and our facilitators as well, and to all the members that worked at the back of it, that is Irfan, Pallavi, Shruti, and Indralin. Thank you so much for making this event happen. And again, thanks Darren, Mika, and Phila. It was great.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. It was
Thank
an
you so
honor.
much,
Honored to be
Darren,
here.
Phila.
Appreciate
And
it.
personally, I love this event. It was great interacting with you all and sharing your insights with the students of the university. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Have a great day.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.